Hey everyone, welcome to another episode. For this week, I thought it'd be fun to focus more on storytelling in our illustration. And I want to use my own IP as the example when we do this. I'm actually going to launch a game with the IP itself. We're pretty close, just doing a lot of testing, so not ready yet to go live, but hopefully in the near future. And for the image itself, I was thinking like maybe Toki the penguin could be fishing on the boat with his dog friend Ulf the corgi and Miranda. They're sitting there, maybe it's early sunrise or early sunset, and they're fishing, and you have a seagull in the corner ready to pounce whenever they might catch a fish. And you can see maybe seagulls in the distance as well. I thought it'd be pretty fun thematic, and it's been a while since I did illustration for my own project that I can show. So let's jump into it, shall we? Storytelling aspect was the primary thing for this image that I wanted to focus on. I did a few variations where I kept the drawing super loose and just try to place things on the image, try to figure out where I want things, and I want to keep it very simple because if I would have committed too much to the drawing, I probably would have been too afraid to do some major changes. I want to keep it very loose until I was comfortable adding paint, and with this one I was pretty happy with it. So from this stage we can just start adding in all the paint, and we're going to start with some very broad brush strokes. So let's just do that straight away. And this is something I do with a lot of my painting is ahead of time I try to think of a narrative. I try to think of a scenario of what I want to paint. Even if I haven't painted anything or done any research, I just try to think of what kind of story do I want to tell and what's the emotional impact that I want out of it. In this case I wanted to feel like an early morning image. The sun is just setting, you see the clouds slightly behind it. And having those ideas ahead of time before you even start putting in paint makes it a lot easier when you do start adding in the colors and the paint, because you sort of have a target to aim for. And I always find that more helpful than shooting in the dark. Sometimes you can just go in blind and just start popping in colors and paint and try to make something work. I find it a lot easier if you can at least have some sort of goal that you want to achieve before you jump into that phase of the painting. And the earlier stages of the process is just trying to validate, is this idea or the story that I have in mind going to work with the colors and lighting scenario? And just keeping a really broad stroke. I'm not even focusing on any major details. And my process is I like to work on the background first before I do the characters, because it's easier for me to establish the overall emotion and general color and value structure of the image. I like to put darker character against the brighter background to make them pop more. So it's just easy starting with the background, and it's a big part of the image. So if I can get it out of the way early, I feel way more comfortable in the rest of the image, and it builds up my confidence just to keep moving forward with the image. And I just try to get in as much information early on and just try to see, is it going to work, is it not? So I feel like we solved the majority of the problems at this point, and this is where I tend to relax a lot more and feel more comfortable in the image. Every time I need to convince myself it's going to work, and when we get to kind of sort of this stage, we answered what the color is going to be like, what the mood, what the lighting, and I feel much more comfortable just jumping into the rendering. I try to always establish the overall feel of the painting as quick as possible to convince myself it's going to work. And with that in mind, I'm just going to jump into the rendering, and I'll see you guys when it's done. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making this video. It's a very subject matter dear to me. And always on the lookout for new ideas or topics for videos. I have a pretty interesting one coming up, but if you have suggestions or ideas, please let me know. I've gotten a lot of really good ones that I've already gathered, but I'm always looking for more. I also want to wish you a happy weekend and a wonderful Friday, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.